Hi everybody, this is Alin Vlad. I am Alin Vlad King on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. I am a teacher, programmer, spiritual leader, Oracle certified Java professional in Romania. This is dating part 2. So, before we start, it's mostly your problem is about anxiety and stress. If you're anxious and stressed, take rhodial ROCA supplements and you will then speak to other people confidently. You will not be afraid to speak to other people. So, also improve your look every day. So, if you're not anxious, if you improve your look every day, it's easier, much easier. Okay, the second date. This is the part 2 of dating. I did part 1. Now, it's not about the first date, it's about the second date. Okay, your first date, you impress your date enough to secure a second shot. Now the stakes are higher. If your first date was a rousing success, the next one better be fantastic. It has to be much better, the second date. Okay, so date number 2 score higher on a dating scale. Okay, a date lasts up at least 3 hours, is planned ahead of time, and takes place after noon in iron clothing. A date at it's spontaneous, can last a few minutes or an hour or two, takes place day or night, and doesn't even require a shower. Okay, first dates can be shorter, date ads, but second dates have to be longer. The first date is a takeoff, a second date is climbing to cruising at altitude. Okay, so you're on your way to your destination in the second date. It's the beginning of a settling in period. Whereas your first date is about fantasy, getting your hair done, being on your best behavior, looking at your dates through a rose-colored glass, your second date is the beginning of a reality. You let your hair down a bit, you reveal the real or realer you, and you'll see your date through a magnifying glass, if not reading glasses. Okay, so a second date number 2, is the next step, a continued search for compatibility. A chance to reveal yourself, a time to flirt, a shift of focus onto your date. Okay, a second date is not a relationship, a pre-spouse interview, a confessional, a time to have sex, obsessing about yourself. So the beauty of the second date, date number 2, is that real personalities can begin to emerge. Your date's nervous laughter mellows into a great sense of humor. Her personal resume becomes a story of her life. Okay, the potential downside is also that real personalities emerge. The date you thought was a friendly overtipper who dressed impeccably and arrived on time suddenly morphs into a flirtatious spendthrift who is narcissistic and obsessive. Oops. Okay, the point here is that a second date is your next leg on your journey toward getting to know someone better. Period. The second date is about getting to know someone better. Okay, there will be more communicating. You will move from neutral conversational territory like census data to more personal stuff like family history, favorite movies, the school you went to, a school you go to, hometown, work life. Okay, stuff you put in a personal ad, stuff your next door neighbor knows, but not the ultra sensitive stuff you tell only your best friend. It's also a good time for follow-up. You ask the opening questions on your first date. Now get a bit more detail. Testing the compatibility waters. You want to make sure you and your date are a good fit. Okay, your attention shifts away from how you look, act, feel, talk, eat, and slurp to the kind of person your date is. Okay, you're probing for shared interests. While you want to express yourself on your first date, the second date is for allowing, encouraging, desiring, and listening to your date express what he or she likes and dislikes. Okay, sexual innuendos, nothing overt, but playful flirting is good. Okay, on the first date, don't do sexual innuendos, but on the second date, you can start to do that. Gazing into each other's eyes. Most importantly, a second date is one step further along on the intimacy scale. It's about stripping away the outer layer of superficiality and beginning to know your date's soul. Few things are more intimate or soulful than prolonged eye contact. Don't stare, but don't be afraid to connect with the window to your date's soul, the eyes. Okay, good places for a second date. It's about delving deeper, getting to know someone better, flirting a bit more, and being more intimate. Pick a place that lets you do these things, like a quiet restaurant or cafe, public park, sporting event, museum. Following are not so good places to do these things, like a noisy bar, quiet bar, movie marathon, your parents' house, your date's parents' house, your place. Okay, if more than 2 weeks have passed, okay, let me change this a bit. Alright, so like this. So if more than 2 weeks have passed between date number 1 and date number 2, your second date is likely to feel more like the first date. Adjust your expectations accordingly. Okay, so as I said, second date is about getting to know someone better. Okay, so pick a place that let you get to know the other person, like restaurant, cafe, public park, sport event, museum. Okay, so it's okay to expect to have a good time with someone you already like, but try to identify what your expectations are before your second date begins. That way you'll recognize immediately if your expectations are dashed, and you can put the whole thing in perspective. Okay, what's really bothering me here? Am I blaming my date for my expectations? Am I bringing up past history? Have I jumped a couple of unrelated memories and fears together to make a stress sandwich? If so, pull yourself back into the moment and deal with the here and now. Am I trying to make sure my date doesn't get too close? Intimacy is a scary thing, particularly in the second date where presumably you two are revealing more about yourselves. Okay, old patterns, new people, another problem. Behavior patterns, acting in a characteristic way, begin to take hold on the second date, okay? Like if you always confess your true love on the second date, on the way to your car, you'll probably act it out again, unless you do something to change the pattern. Or if you're so scared of intimacy that takes for you 10 years to trust someone, you probably won't change unless you make a conscious effort to do so. So change your bad behavior patterns before you start the second date. Okay. The first 15 minutes of the date number 2. Unless in the first date you have to pre-plan a lot of things. But for the second date, less is needed. But there's more at stake. So a bit of forethought will help you and your date relax. Okay, you want to solve any potential problems involving the first 15 minutes of your second date before it begins. So these questions ask yourself in your mind before the second date begins. Do you kiss your date on the cheek when you first meet, on the lips? Okay, cheeks okay, lips no way for the second date. I mean, you can do that, but she has to let you, so. Do you take your date's hands, put your arm around his or her shoulder? Okay, no hand, no arm, no proprietary touching just yet. Handshakes are okay if you opt for no kiss. Do you talk about your last day together or stick to the present moment? Okay, answer. Continuing a previous conversation or asking about the status of something you already talked about is great. It's a real intimacy builder and lets your date know you are listening. Okay, do you go someplace different from the first date? Yes. Especially if your date number 1 was very short. The location reflects a lot about you and how you feel about your companion. You don't have to spend a bundle, but if your goal is getting to know what makes your date tick emotionally and spiritually, a loud concert may not the best way to go. So, question: does money matter? Money always matter to some degree, but don't let a lack of the green stuff freak you out or keep you from asking someone out. A walk in the park can be better than the dinner at Ritz. Pick a place that lets you feel free to be you and let your date feel free to get to know you. Just don't look cheap, okay? Make sure you have enough to cover any expected expenses, plus $20 stuck in a secret compartment. Okay, tip, Getting to know you, the info exchange. Unlike the first date, which is pretty superficial, a second date delves a little deeper. You already know you like each other enough to find out more. How much more remains to be seen? For now, you want to be vulnerable enough to let your date see who you really are without showing all your warts or defects at once. A defect or two is okay. You want your date to feel confident enough to share a defect or two with you also. To get the good stuff, you've got to give, okay? Trust me, your date won't open up if you just sit there with your arms crossed. Periodically gauge, understand how things are going. If you feel you know everything about your date and your date knows nothing about you, shut up. Sorry, not shut up. Just talk. Talk more. If your date has been nodding for the past hour, it's time to shut up. So, if she knows a lot about you and you don't know about her, just ask her, let her talk. But if she doesn't know about you much, you know a lot about her, just talk. And she has to shut up. So it must be completed, like equal information shared. If your time together seems more like a stand-up routine than a conversation, take a deep breath and focus on getting more insight, less loss. So you have to know the other person, not only the jokes, but you must be funny, but not too much. Okay, if your date sounds more like a job interview than a chat, it's time to get a bit more personal. But if your date blushes each time you ask him or her a question, it's time to get less personal. So you must have an equilibrium between personal and non-personal stuff, between laughs and getting more information about the other person. And this has to be equal, not too much of anything. Okay, if the conversation is stopping, ask yourself if it's you or your date. One of you is uncomfortable. Just ask. We had such fun last time we went out. Is something making you uncomfortable? Ask and solve the problems. Okay, it's a problem if you trust someone too early, but it's a problem also if you're not. Don't be so paranoid. Suspect a bad motive behind everything he or she says, but don't trust someone so easily. True trust takes time. No shortcuts allowed. Remember, your date is just your date. She isn't your friend. At date number 2, friendship requires time. Trust takes time. Even if you've been chatting online for months, trust still takes a lot of time together. Okay, don't ask, is this the one? I am marrying to her. While this urge may be there to wait every second date on the forever scale, don't give it to it. Distract yourself. It's too soon. A relationship hasn't even taken flight yet. It's about the second date. It's too early. It takes time. Okay, don't do sex too early. Physical intimacy blurs the emotional intimacy of a relationship. So a second date isn't even a relationship yet, so sex confuses the whole deal. Making out is okay, kissing is okay, but until you know each other better, don't go for sex, or at least you don't want to get a disease or something like that. Not all the dates begin with such a gap between what you know and what the other person wants to tell you. But they all do begin with a desire to share some information. After all, without an exchange of something, the two of you remain strangers. So, include a little bit about your factual life. Things like where you're from, where you went to school, how many brothers or sisters you have, what hobbies you like, what kind of work you do, and how you spend your free time. Okay, this can include stuff that you put in a personal ad. Share feelings, okay, worries, music groups that you like, whether you're a baseball, opera, or chocolate fan, and how the weather is affecting you. Keep the script positive and realistic. Okay, your comments shouldn't be too negative or make you sound like the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, be humble, please. Okay, what you must share is the important information of your life, like previous marriages, previous convictions and parole violations, previous bankruptcies, previous kids, previous sex change operations. What can I say? I mean, just confess everything at second date that is important. You have to tell this, okay? Find the right moment, okay? Confessions of any kind need to be seen and heard in context. Okay, so you don't have to say instantly, but before the end of the third date at latest, you have to tell the important information about you. The best of all of when to tell is when you'd want to know if you are the one about to hear what you have to say. I mean, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Tell when you want to hear. Okay, things to tell before sex. You must have a frank and honest discussion with your closest on and no alcohol. Okay, so condoms, contraception, medical sexual history. Okay, tell everything about your sexual history, diseases, history of sexual abuse, if it's relevant, if you can tolerate certain positions or words, past relationships, if they affect you, how you behave, fears, claustrophobia, fear of pillows, dogs, hates, oral sex, pink lights, excitement, what turns you on, positions and fantasies. Okay, talk about them. Okay, so you must have a discussion before sex and be safe. Okay, you have to be safe. Okay, guys proposing marriage on a first date. This is pure fantasy and manipulation. Dating should be fun, not a mind game or a delusion. Yeah. Okay. Okay, trust is a fragile thing. You need to trust not only each other but yourself. When to say I love you and when to keep quiet. Wait at least several months, minimum 3 months before you say you love her, the other person. Even if you love her in the first sight, in the first night, it's too early to say I love you, then you change your mind and you don't really love her. I mean, if she says I love you and you don't love her back, don't say I love you too, just to be nice. It will open a can of worms. You'll make a gigantic mess. Okay, love doesn't always mean the same thing to everyone. Some people say love, it's connected to marriage. Others say I love you. You have to be clear about it. Okay. True love implies commitment. If you're not ready to be monogamous, connected, open and loving, don't say I love you just yet. If the only time you say I love you is during sex or when you're apart, shut up. See what it's going, open your eyes. Okay, don't lie. Shut up. The solution is keep quiet. Don't lie. Even if none of us are completely honest, yeah, if I told you everything, you wouldn't have time to do anything but confess. I mean, don't lie, just keep quiet. Following is a list of topics you should keep to yourself. like details of past loves, if you've cheated, sexual stories, your own inexperience, your own incredible experience, your bank account, your poverty, gossip, your superiority, inferiority, your friends' feelings about your date, previous hospitalizations until month 4 at least, your parents' unreasonable ideas about religion, race, your unreasonable ideas about religion, race. This keep to yourself, don't say this to your date. Past sexual experiences, don't ask, don't tell. Even if you're tempted, you'll both regret any departure from this policy. So, don't ask, don't tell about past sexual experiences. And past relationships. Talking about past relationships is a really bad idea. They're over and done with. Because the tendency is to paint either you or your ex as a bad person. So, it's too much negativity talking about exes. If you can't find something better to talk about than your exes, you need to find a therapist, not a date. Now the good part. Showing interest. A good question to ask. It's important not only to be interested, but to seem interested in your date by asking cool questions, like the following. What do you do? What sports do you like? What's your favorite free time activity? What movies have you seen? What restaurants do you like? Do you think the president's doing a good job? I mean, small talk. Don't talk about very, very, very important things of life. Talk about unimportant things. This is small talk. It's relaxed. It's, you know, good questions are those that draw your date out without putting him or her on the spot. The goal here is to learn about one another, not scare the daylights out of your date with your investigative prowess. We're trying to show interest, not terrorize. Talk, explain, find out what makes your date think a bit, what she likes. Be prepared to talk about a lot of things. So, keep up with current events, the latest movie, a local political scandal, or your horoscope is a cool idea. Okay, if all you can talk is about work or exes, it's going to be hard to begin building those conversational bridges that give you the feeling that you're getting to know someone and letting him or her get to know you. So small talk, small talk. Don't worry about your next question, listen to your date's response. It's even okay to be quiet for a minute or two. Ask thoughtful, non-aggressive questions. Don't fall into the Spanish Inquisition phenomenon. Because if you're non-aggressive with questions, thoughtful, shows that you are genuinely interested and paying attention. Don't be tempted to lie, even for effect, so don't lie. If you can, it's better to keep quiet than lying. Ooh, now the quiz question. Okay. The all-important questions. Looming large at the end of almost every date is as simple as complicated as two pair of lips. Should we kiss? Kissing is an intimate act. At least intimate kissing is. You're literally opening up to someone. Your eyes are usually closed and your neck is exposed. It's a very vulnerable position. Emotionally, it's incredibly vulnerable. Okay, how many folks have lain awake at night dreamingly remembering their date's kiss? Okay, a college friend of mine once confided that if she kissed a man, she'd sleep with him. Until she explained further. Kissing is an intimate act, perhaps the most intimate act, that she'd never kiss someone unless she was ready to go all the way. Others feel kissing is foreplay, and lots of folks like kissing all by itself. Hug index. A hug is a manly splendor thing. It's intimate, motherly, fatherly, consoling, sexual, and casual. The manner in which the hugger hugs and the huggy hugs back may communicate a lot about the way they feel about each other. Take a look. Hug style. The tent. Head and shoulders touch. Feet are far apart. I'm not sure how I feel about you yet. The quick press. A hug that lasts 1 second or less. It means, hi, how are you? The grind. Major pelvic press. Hello, gorgeous, I want you. The bear. All engulfing, full body, mind and soul hug. You're yummy and I dig you. The circle, relaxed full body press, accompanied by a kiss. You're mine, and I adore you. It's in here or her kiss. There are 25 different ways to kiss. 25. The eye kiss, the wet kiss, the butterfly, the friendly, the ever popular liposuction. Okay, there are many ways to kiss, okay. Understand the difference between them. Handshake, if your date extends his or her hand instead of lips, it means one of two things. One, she's trying to do the right, as in respectful thing, and not move too fast. Two, the moment is awkward, and your date isn't sure what to do. Okay, a handshake isn't necessarily a brush off. A kiss off is a brush off. So if you want more, try a gentle, friendly hug and see what happens. I repeat this. If you want more, try a gentle, friendly hug and see what happens. Okay, hug. Since your entire body is involved, a hug can be the gateway to more intimacy. The duration of the hug determines what happens next. If it's a quick body pressing, take it as the equivalent of a quick kiss. If your date holds you close and you like it, a simple tilt of the head and voila, you're in a perfect kissing position. Okay, quick kisses are everywhere. People who barely know each other, quick kiss on the neck, on the cheek, when they when they meet. In France, double cheek quick kiss is part of the national identity. If your date leans forward at the end of your time together and quick kisses you on the cheek, saying a quick goodbye. A quick smooch session may be coming later, is the last thing on your date's mind tonight. If, on the other hand, your date quick kisses you hello, especially if it's more sweety than scary or sexy, you're picking up on some fairly serious chemistry. Okay, serious kiss. This is a kiss you can see coming. Your date has been preparing the proper approach in his or her mind, and there's a thrilling tingle of anticipation in the air. A serious kiss is one of intention. It's sensual more than sexual, and it takes time when done properly. Okay, a serious kiss is one of the best signs that your date can't wait to see you again. Making out. All about lust. Making out is an earnest lip lock intended as a prelude to something more, not always sex, though the promise and possibility of sex are definitely part of the scene. Making out is characterized by a full body experience. Your lips are only the initiators. Making out uses the hands, hot breath on the neck, bodies pressed together. Okay, don't make out with a date you don't want to see again. It sends out a mixed message and mass of hormones that have nowhere to go. Okay, in general, men view kissing as a prelude to the main event, sex. For men, a woman who kisses well promised to be a tiger in the sack too. Women often see kissing as a perfectly good activity in and out of itself, rather than a means to an end. So, women could kiss all night, and they say goodnight without feeling cheated out of sex. For a woman, a guy who's a great kisser is a guy who takes his time, a guy who's capable of love as well as lust. The signs. First kisses are so loaded with possibility, expectation, sexuality, sensuality, tenderness, and emotion. It's a wonder people don't explode on the spot. So before you get to the door or the moment of truth, I want you to make sure your date is sending all the right signals that she is ready to take your relationship to level 2. Her signs. You can tell that a woman is interested in a kiss if she is facing you, arms down, body relaxed, her head is tilted upward. She doesn't appear to be ending the date with some definitive remark like thanks, I call you. Her lips are parted. She gazes into your eyes. If she's not interested, she'll clamp her jaw shut. Search for her keys, won't look you in the eye. Glue her chin to her chest. Hold out her hand and say thanks. Maybe she's not obviously doing that, but you can tell. At least there are some signs. She would look at you in a way that you will realize. Okay, if you're a girl and you're looking for a man's signs, a guy looking forward to a little lip action will position his body between you and the door act nervous, show no visible signs of leaving or ending the date, tilt his head upward, lick his lips. If he's not interested, he'll walk you directly to your door or car without hesitation. Keep his or her hands in the pockets, look at his feet, avoid eye contact at all costs. Okay, remember, kissing is not a mandatory end to every date. You can hug, shake hands, wave to each other, but it's not good. Okay, there are perfectly other acceptable alternatives. It's your date, and you can kiss if you want to, or not kiss if you don't want to. Okay, on a first date, sex should be out of question. Ending on a positive note. Your job when your date isn't dazzled by you is to listen gracefully and non-defensively and smile sweetly and make a swift exit as soon as the coast is clear. No need to prolong a bad date. Okay, not every couple has chemistry. That's what dates are for, to find out if you have chemistry or not. Okay, chemistry. It's when two people click. I just knew it was love at first sight. We're destined to be together, soulmates, beware. While some couples feel an instant and powerful pull to one another, which isn't always sustainable or prolonged, for most the response is slower and subtler. An interest, a tingle, a thrill, a desire to get closer. In a word, chemistry. A number of physiological changes take place in your body when you encounter a person who turns you on. Your pupils dilate, you want to see more of them, your heart races, your palms get sweaty, you feel energized, like you could stay up all night, and you probably could. That's what the expression turned on really means. Physically, your body is totally awake, alert, and raring to go. Basic biochemistry 101. Hormones turn you on. Lust in its most basic, uncomplicated feeling form. Your body is saying, let's party. Okay, unfortunately, chemistry is either there or it's not, and it's impossible to fake. I mean, if your personality is not good, if you don't have chemistry with the other person, because not all the persons are the same, in my case, not all the girls are the same. You understand, I don't have chemistry with all the girls, even though I can talk with all of them, understand all of them. But with some of them you feel closer, feel more on the same wavelength. You feel it's the right person. Okay, now if you're at a bad date, if you hate your date, identify 3 things that you like about your date. Everyone has at least a few interesting and unique qualities. When a date starts to slide downhill, and I hope this doesn't happen, if you have a personality and if you're kind and if you understand the other sex, it should not go downhill. But if it goes downhill, we tend to magnify the negative moments in our minds and discount the positive. Okay, reverse this trend. Find 3 things you like about your date. They don't have to be big things. You don't have to suddenly realize you love the person's personality. Start small. Do you like her hair, his hands, her laugh, his quick sense of humor? Avoid blame. You're going to feel disappointed when you first get the inkling that your date isn't working out. Either people click or they don't. Either there is chemistry or there is not chemistry. So when they click, when there is chemistry, their communication is like a tapestry. It's shared experience and similarity intertwines. Each jiggle, stare, brush of hands is a gossamer thread, like a spider thread, one on top of the other, until a beautiful scene is depicted. When there is not chemistry, when folks don't click, the date is more like a wrinkly paper bag, uninteresting, unappealing, just plain unwonderful. Okay, don't be tempted to blame your date or yourself for this unpleasantness. No need to accuse your date of using you, being an idiot, being ungrateful, being uncivilized. Okay, so don't blame your date. Being polite, using tact. Put yourself in your date's shoes. Okay, this is the difference between hurtful truth-telling and honesty. Okay, don't say, I want to go home now. Say, it's getting late. I've got an early morning tomorrow. I have to go somewhere in the morning. Don't say, we have nothing in common. Say, you've led such a different life than I have. Don't say, you look nothing like your picture. Say, your photo doesn't do you justice. Okay, don't be bad, harsh. Okay, now, the next day, after a first date is over, there are feelings both men and women share. Excitement if the date went well, disappointment if it went poorly, and anticipation if it went well enough to ensure date number 2. That's about where similarity ends. All the right moves. The day after a so-so date can be confusing. If your date derailed because of something you said or did, call and apologize. Everyone makes dumb mistakes, everyone understands. Saying nothing that leaves a bad taste with everyone. So, if you said something bad or did something bad, call the next day and apologize. Okay. Post-grade date fantasies. What are the girls' fantasies after the first date? The color of your bridesmaid's dress. Moonlit walks on the beach. Great date every Sunday night. Love. Adoration. Someone to watch over me. What are the guy fantasy? The color of her lingerie. Midnight sex on the beach. A great date for Super Bowl Sunday. Lust. Acceptance. Someone to watch me. Expectations after a great date. Girls' expectations. He'll call the minute he gets home. He'll call the next morning. If I call him, I'll seem desperate. If he really had a good time, he'll send flowers. If he was thinking about me, he'll want to talk to me. If he doesn't call within 2 days, the relationship is over. What are the guy expectations? I'll see her again soon. I'll call in a few days. If I call her, I'll seem needy. I only send flowers the day after we have great sex. She's on my mind so much, I don't even need to talk to her. And I don't want to wimp out. Relationship. Okay, see the communication problem here? Guys don't call the next day, they see it as too needy. Girls don't call the next day either, they see it as too desperate. Okay, if you're a guy, win brownie points by calling before 10 days. If you're a girl, chill. The problem is the pattern, not you. So, wait. Whoa. Let's understand the 4 stages of attachment. Although each dating situation is unique, each progresses in a fairly predictable way. The progression from the first date to budding relationship is what I call the 4 stages of attachments. Stage number 1, ignition. From the first date to first month. Your interest is just starting up. Hopefully, there's enough fuel on both sides to ignite a spark. You're on your best behavior, wear your best clothes, shine your shoes, wear clean socks, pluck your eyebrows, thin your sideburns, and stash bad mints in your pocket. Now, stage number 2, first year. From month 1 to 3 months. If all is well, you didn't pop the clutch and kill the engine or flood the carburetor. Now, you're getting to know each other and checking the rearview mirror a bit, but mostly you're keeping your eyes on the road ahead, trying really hard to mesh those gears without going too fast. You're relaxed enough to be real, to fumble with a check, to wear a shirt straight from the dryer without ironing it, perhaps even to wear something comfy rather than spiffy. You offer your date a breath mint too, instead of sneaking one for yourself. So this is starting more and more relaxed. Now, stage 3, acceleration from 3 months to 6 months of relationship. Foot is on the gas pedal, you're raring to go. Physical and emotional attraction are steaming up the windshield. You like each other a lot. You feel so comfy you invite your date over to your place, even when you haven't picked the newspaper off the floor. You order extra garlic on the pizza. You feel a sense of give and take. Okay, Some of the nervousness about whether you are on the same page, map galaxy, or in the same car has lessened a bit. Okay, mostly a lot. Now it's more and more relaxed. Now, stage number 4 of a relationship, cruise control, from month number 6 to 9 months. Sit back, relax, you're on the freeway. It's a bona fide relationship to be. You love each other, though you may not have said it yet. You've seen each other's flaws and find them adorable. You ate cold garlic pizza for breakfast and your mate asked you to please brush your teeth. Happily you complied. Not only are you in the car together, you can take turns driving right, left, choose destinations together, and really enjoy the trip. Okay, now let's talk about chemistry of love. What is love? What you're dealing with in the early stage of dating is the chemistry of lust. There is no love. It can be much more compelling and much more confusing. Okay, when your date go well, your brain becomes flooded with natural amphetamines or uppers that make you feel literally high on life. You're full of happiness, energy, optimist. If you were on old Mary Tyler Moore show episode, toss your head up in the air. Phew. It feels like this excitement will last forever. But last is joking you and all of us, because this excitement doesn't last. Eventually the chemicals fade, and if deeper feelings have not been developed, your fledgling relationships fades as well. So lust or sexual attraction, this is the first part. It's not love, it's attraction. But eventually these attractions will fade. So if deeper feelings are not there, your relationship is not going to be good. So what is love at first sight? Okay, love at first sight is lust with potential. It's sexual attraction. It's not love. Don't confuse it with love. Love at first sight isn't bad if you remember what it really is. It's lust with potential, not a reuniting of soulmates. It's sexual attraction, and that's all. I'll talk about this later. So, if you don't like your date, 4 ways to say no gracefully is: it's too soon, I'd rather wait. I know that kind of guy, girl. I'll know when the timing's right. It's not right now. I'd rather have something to look forward than look back. Okay, putting off sex until you know each other well. What are the emotional reasons why waiting is a good idea? Not forever, just until you know each other pretty well, because sex changes everything. No matter what you believe about sex, there is always about an emotional metamorphosis or change after two people make love. Always. The relationship is never to be the same again. It can be better or worse, but it's never going to be the same. Sex is about exposure, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional exposure. There is no more covering up. You're letting it all hang out, exposing a very intimate part of yourself to another human being, not to mention the potential health exposure as well. So, if you're not ready to be that vulnerable, you're all the way more vulnerable to getting hurt the next day or a bit farther down the road. So, if she is worth waiting for, she will wait. At this early stage of dating, and I'm talking about for several weeks to months, I want you to forget about sex for now and free your horses. Be yourself. Let your date see the real you. Get out of your own way and reveal your unique beauty. Instead of making love, make another date to do something that will bring you closer emotionally, such as taking a walk along the beach, going bird watching in the woods, taking a drive, strolling the mall, having a picnic, sipping high tea together, snuggling up in front of the fire, babysitting, baking, visiting a museum, helping deliver food to shut-ins, visiting a nursing home or hospital, gardening. You can do many things. So if you want really to do sex, just go to a doctor, do analysis, make sure you don't have disease, okay? And do what you want. But I suggest waiting a bit until you know each other better, and you're monogamous, you're not dating anybody else at the same time. What is love? You can think of love in two ways. There are two kinds of love. One that is explosive and burns out hot and bright, and then burns itself out. It doesn't last. And other kind of love that is quieter, less noticeable and dramatic. But if you put your hand to the ground, you can feel its heat. It's a kind of fire that will burn forever. So there are two kinds of love. One that is intense and fast and doesn't last, and one that is softer, quieter, and will last more, especially maybe forever. Okay, now don't talk about your date with other people until you're 3 6 months. They're pretty comfortable with each other. The fewer people who know you've passed the second date threshold, the better. Especially your friends, family. Okay, it's okay to tell your best friend, but the last thing you want is an audience who can't wait to hear every juicy detail. Okay, I try not to say to my friends who I'm dating with in the beginning. We talk, all my friends, we talk about which girls we see, but no, it's better to shut up. So give the thing a chance to get going before asking how it's going. With an audience, everything, the good stuff and the bad stuff will be exaggerated. Okay, when you like someone, you're still in the checklist mode. You're keeping a mental scoreboard. +1 for showing up on time, -1 for taking a call on the cell phone, +1 for laughing at your dumb joke, -1 for biting fingernails. Like is an evaluation of compatibility. Literally, seeing if you two are enough alike to get along. Think about how you describe a friend. You go through a list of attributes. It's all in sharp focus. So, what is love? It's sexual appeal, sexual attraction at the beginning. So, if your date says I love you on the first date, it's lunacy, it's crazy. If your date says I love you on the second date, it's lust, sexual attraction. If your date says I love you on the first date, it's still lust, sexual attraction. If your date says I love you on the fourth month, it's still sexual attraction. With direction, it's lust. But if your date knows your soul and your weight and your childhood scars and your adulthood scars and your parents and your most embarrassing moments and your dreams and your failures and says I love you but not anyway, but because, congratulations, it's love. So, lust, sexual attraction, more physical than mental. Lust is tingling fingertips, sweaty palms, pounding hearts, breathless kisses. Lust is wanting to engulf someone with a bear hug and make out or more till the sun comes up. Lust is powerful and fickle. It's a sexual faucet that seems to turn off almost as quickly as it turns on. It's pure energy. Okay, now, lust with direction. After date 2, before date 22, the lust with direction phase is sexy with street smarts. You lost your head over this person but not your mind. Not only do you desire to wish him or her off to bed in a cascade of kisses, but you want to read the morning paper together too, and not just the funny pages either. Okay, love, what is love? Soft focus is the best sense of the world. You can see clearly, but it's pretty and mellow and pleasing. Most of all, love is about trust and time, and the time it takes to really trust someone fully. Love isn't a mad dash. It's not something you do quick. It's a slow stroll, a slow walk. It's compatibility, acceptance, giving as well as getting, warmth, fun, and shared interest and goals. This is love. I say it again. It's compatibility, acceptance, giving as well as getting, warmth, fun, and shared interest and goals. It's caring for someone, not in spite of their flaws, but because of them. Any relationship can survive if you're both on the same wavelength, and any relationship is going to run into problems if you're not. So if there is chemistry, it's good. If it's not chemistry is bad. Casual dating. This means neither of you is taking uh, is taking the relationship terribly seriously, because one of you either is dating others. You like each other but see other people as well. This is casual dating, it's not serious. You're living far away from each other, you see each other occasionally, you're only in her town temporarily. This similar to holiday romance. The relationship will last only as the business trip, vacation, or whatever does. You're not interested in a commitment. You want the relationship to be without long-term expectations. You're not being sexual, you're abstaining. You're not being seriously sexual, you're not being monogamous. I mean, you're dating others. Not a terrific idea. Seeing each other less than twice a week. You get together less than twice a week, either because you're not interested in seeing each other more frequently or because proximity keeps you apart. So this is casual dating, it's not serious. Now, what is serious dating? This is a transition between casual dating and heavy dating. With serious dating, your relationship is exclusive. You see each other once or twice a week. You live in the same city. You're possibly sexual, possibly not. Now, heavy dating. Okay, the idea of dating is to see who's out there and keep doing and switching off until you find someone who seems a cut above the rest, someone worthy of additional time and effort and consideration. Once you decide that you have someone who is worth abandoning all others for, at least temporarily, you've moved into exclusivity, which is a precursor to heavy dating. So, when you find the right girl that is above all the others, this is going to be exclusivity. So this involves, heavy dating involves being mutually exclusive by design. You discuss and consciously agree to see only each other. Having 3 or more dates a week. You take time and effort to be together often. You are dating on weekends. You spend weekends together instead of going with other people. So when you go with other people, you often go as a couple. You're living in the same area code. You're living relatively close to one another. This makes it possible to see each other often. You're often being sexual and certainly practicing sexual exclusivity. In other words, if your relationships include sex, you are monogamous. You're not having sex with other people. Okay, thank you. Sexual intimacy, although not necessary to be a committed relationship, is often one of its hallmarks. It's a symbol. So whereas some people think the key is the sex part, it's really the intimacy part, a connection deep enough to involve body and soul. But intimacy depends on a number of factors, not just and not necessarily only on the sex act. If you think that you can achieve intimacy only through sex, you are mistaken. The longer you wait to have sex, the better the foundation, the more you know about each other, and the easier it is to talk about sexual things when the time comes. Okay, you know this person, like and trust her, aren't using sex to get power, presence, or a date, or as a sign of anything other than mutual interest. If you're looking for a sign, read the tea leaves or traffic lights. It's never the right time to have sex until you've talked about it. You know each other's middle name. Okay? This doesn't mean everybody have sex by the 6th date, but certainly have it no sooner than the 4th date, okay? After the 4th date, you can have sex. You love touching each other and being touched. You've played kissy face. There's a lot of hand-holding going on here. You talk a lot in person and on the phone. You see each other more than once a week. Okay, you're not having sex with anybody else, and your date isn't either. You know, because you have talked about it together. You're ready to practice safe sex. You are prepared to make sure that nobody gets pregnant, hurt, diseased, or misunderstood. You're both willing to deal with the reality that sex may not be great for either of you if you have a sexual problem, you know. There is only one reason to say yes to sex, because you honestly and sincerely want to have sex with this person. Compatibility. How much time do you spend together? How much do you enjoy your time together? Is your time together increasing or decreasing? How much do you have in common? Do you fight a lot or do you fight a little? Timing. This is the most important thing, because if you both have time, everything else can be sorted out. If you don't have time, even the most compatible of couples is going to hit the wall. Okay, money. A huge discrepancy in financial resources can cause problems. Okay, one person getting or losing a lot can change things, especially if you don't know the discrepancy up front, or if someone's situation has changed. Even winning the lottery is surprisingly hard on relationships. Okay, violence. If you are in a violent relationship, get out now. Thank you. Even when the two of you don't see each other, the heart, the brain, and the mind remember. You can be haunted in your dreams, your memories, your fantasies. Okay? It will take time and soil and sunshine for the remaining tree to regain its strength, to be straight, and to find the sunshine on its own. Okay? If your relationship is over, those remembrances has tendrils. It has things that attach to you. These tendrils, these attachments, are not based in reality, and often they are particularly stubborn and hard to get rid of. The longer you dated, the longer the recovery period. So it takes time and sunshine for the bad moments to go away. Okay, it's better if the two of you choose to be together instead of have to be together to survive. Okay, the strength of both contributes to greater strength as a couple. So don't date married people, and even if you're married, don't date. Married people who date are unhappy, dishonest, and confused. They're people who use other people. Okay. So, at the first date, be safe. Meet in a public place. You're creating your own safety zone. You're feeling relaxed. Okay, you're not guarding. Your shoulders drop. Your eyes stop darting left and right. Okay, isolated, dark, quiet places may be great for romance, but not on the first date. You have to be comfortable, and comfort comes with safety, and safety comes in well-trafficked public places where you can let your guard down. Now, if you are in a long relationship and you want to keep it fresh, alive, and healthy, okay, being romantic in the early dates is a no-brainer. But how can you keep the fun, energy, interest, and romance alive on an ongoing basis? Okay, so you have to send flowers for no reason. Okay, St. Valentine's Day conjures images of candies in foil hearts, boxed roses, and a romantic dinner. But the romance of Valentine's Day isn't the food or the flowers. It's the feeling of being important enough to someone else, to be remembered, infused over, and loved and cherished. It's sharing a loving, not necessarily sexual experience, picking out a scent together, or choosing a warm woolen mittens, or a perfect scented candle, or a fuzzy warm blanket, or a CD you both like. It's a shared ice cream cone. Okay. You can also send flowers, a rose by any other name. Flowers symbolize new life. It's no wonder suitors give their loved ones flowers to show the blossoming of their love. Interestingly, flowers also symbolize purity and virginity, hence the notion of deflowering a young bride. That sounds good. Specific flowers have specific meanings as well. So, though it's open to interpretation, here's a consensus of what certain flowers mean. So now, the flower meaning. Red rose means passion. Yellow rose means jealousy. White rosebud means purity. Daisy means innocence. Mum means hope. Tulip means luck. Gladioli means strength. Violet means modesty. Lily means devotion, carnation means joy, daffodil, daffodil means desire, sweet pea means gratitude, chrysanthemum means optimism. Okay, to keep your relationship better, write a love note. Okay, putting pen to paper bespeaks extra effort, something from the heart. Those little love notes that you wrote when you were first getting involved, or maybe after you first hook up, is sort of what I like about your romantic thoughts are always a good idea. The point here is not artistry, it's sincerity. Just write a sweet sentiment from your heart, something gentle and touching, and try not to make it a mashed note like body parts, sexual things. Okay, don't even think about typing the note, on the computer. A love note is handwritten, never typed. Don't even think about emailing. Old-fashioned is romantic, thoughtful, and special. Okay, keeping your relationship fresh again. Reminisce about your first mutual date. Remember, even if it was a disaster, thinking back to how you two got started is fun. Sharing your history with each other can give you both a perspective that allows you to weather temporarily glitches on the rider better because of the sense of shared past. Nothing is more romantic than the sense you've come through troubled times together. Reminiscing in a note or conversation can help remind each other of some of the landmarks in your relationship, your first date, your first kiss, or the first time you both just knew it was serious. Any of the things that make you feel closer to one another. You can also share baby pictures and stories. If you're willing to show your love a little about where you were then, your love will know a bit more about who you've become. Okay, give a massage. There are ways of being physical that don't require sex, like dancing, holding hands, and massages are sensual and sexy. So for a massage, you can either splurge on some good massage oil, use baby oil, or put a drop of almond extract in mineral oil for a lovely scent. Find a flat surface in a comfortably warm room. Okay, a bed will work if you're not sexual. And make sure that you're not messing up your best sheets or towels. Find some soothing music and soft lighting. Too bright isn't relaxing, and too dark makes it hard to find each other. Take your time, at least an hour, to warm up the oil in your hands first. If you're still not sure how to give a message, look for a good book about messaging and practice on a friend first, who will undoubtedly love you forever. Shampoo and bath your love. Paying a Isha girl or boy to your loved one is a loving basic thing to do. Primates groom one another. It is relaxed. It slows the pace down of a hectic existence. To set the mood, you can use rose petals or bubble bath, light candles, or play music. Giving each other the time, space, and energy to tune into one another is the ultimate gift. If your relationship hasn't moved to sexual level, it's okay to wear bathing suits. The idea is fun and pampering and sensuality, not seduction. Okay, again, to keep the relationship fresh for long term, plan a mystery date. Instead of falling back on the old standby or on the so what do we want to do? Okay, take your time, plan, prepare a special date. Don't make your date feel responsible for anything other than showing up. You pick the place, choose the activity, buy the tickets, arrange for the dinner. You get the picture. Let yourself get really creative. Pretend you are planning the world's most spectacular experience to delight the head and heart of the one you love. You can pick something lavish or low-key, romantic or rustic, close or far away. Plan something your love will enjoy and you also will enjoy. Not only your fantasy date and place. Focus on making a date with all the trimmings to delight your love. The date doesn't need to be expensive, just imaginative. A picnic can work as well as a cruise, a home-cooked meal as well as a catered affair. We're talking heart, not wallet. Just taking responsibility in doing something that you know will please the other person can be very romantic and very lovely. Okay, take a hike to someplace new. The beginning of a relationship is always about new and different. Spice up your relationships and show your special someone that you care about them by doing something new that you haven't done before. It's just taking a walk to a new place. Go for a walk on a new beach or a national park in daylight, a hike through the woods, or even stroll around the block. The idea is experiencing both something new and part of the greater world together. A picnic lunch is optional. Okay. Other cool places to experience together. Aquariums. Water is always romantic. Don't go out for seafood afterwards. Zoos. Don't go on Sunday unless you are fond of small kids. Amusement parks. Beware of rides that makes you nauseous. Water parks. Fun and water are seductive. Beaches. I love the water. Okay. Museums and sculpture gardens. You can walk, hold hands, and talk. Botanical gardens. Make sure it's not hay fever season. Churches. The air is special and candlelight is always flattering. Rowboats. Being on water is lovely if you can row. Mountains. Don't get caught unprepared. The desert. Being outside is almost always lovely. And the desert is austere and basic. Bring water. Paris. Okay, so I love spitting cherry picks and walking on the Champs-Élysées. Redwood Forest. Being around something that's been around that long puts things in perspective. New York at Christmas. Okay, what can I say? Carriage rides. Lots of cities have them. Fireplaces. Gets us right back to the caves and our ancestors. Country lanes. Beware of traffic. Okay. So, money isn't just green stuff that sits there. Okay. It's power, it's lifestyle, it's control, options, freedom, interaction, and a whole lot more. But don't prioritize just money or just love. You have to prioritize everything in the same equal place, because all the abundant things work together, must be equal. Don't put something above. It's not the money are better, the love is better, the dating is better. Everything should be better, equal. So you want your beloved to be happy now and forever, and the only way to do that is to be who you really are. So be yourself. If something is not going, be yourself. Okay. So thank you for watching. This is dating part 2. You can also rewatch part 1 if you didn't see it. I am Alin Vlad King on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Thank you for watching and enjoy your life. Don't be anxious. This is the secret. Take Rhodiola Osea supplements or anything to reduce your anxiety and stress, and also improve your look every day. If you improve your look every day, if you're not anxious, not stressed, if you're kind, if you have personality, if you understand the other person, the other sex, everything is going to be easy. So, thank you for watching and have a good time dating. Thank you.